Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss a question from the topic definite integration. The question is if f of n is equal to 1 upon pi, limit is from 0 to pi by 2 sin square n theta whole divided by sin square theta and n belongs to natural number, then what we need to find? We need to find the value of f of 15 plus f of 3 whole divided by f of 12 minus f of 10. Now I am going to give approach how to solve this problem. Now what is given? It is given that f of n is equal to 1 upon pi, limit is from 0 to pi by 2 sin square n theta whole divided by sin square theta, and we need to find the value of f of 15 plus f of 3, f of 12 minus f of 10. Now what is f of n plus 2 minus 2 times simply evaluating f of n plus 1 plus f of n? What we find? We find this as equal to, this is equal to 1 upon pi, limit is from 0 to pi by 2 sin square n plus 2 theta minus sin square n plus 1 theta plus 2 times plus sin square n theta whole divided by sin square theta theta. So what I did in this step, simply putting the value of f of n plus 2, f of n plus 1 and f of n. Now if we calculate this further, what we find? We find this as 1 upon pi, 0 to pi by 2 sin square n plus 1 theta, n plus 2 theta, sorry, it is minus sin square n plus 1 theta minus sin square n plus 1 theta minus sin square n theta theta into sin square theta. And what about sin square a minus sin square b? We know that sin square a minus sin square b, sin a minus b into sin a plus b. Simply putting the value, what we find is equal to 1 by pi, limit is from 0 to pi by 2 sin square a minus sin square b, sin a minus b. Sin a minus b is simply sin theta into sin a plus b. A plus b is 2n plus 3 theta minus sin a minus b, sin theta into sin 2n plus 1 theta whole divided by sin square theta theta. So simply applying this formula in this bracket and this bracket. Now if we calculate this further, what we find? This sin theta terms will get cancelled. So we find this as 1 upon pi, 0 to pi by 2 sin 2n plus 3 theta minus sin 2n plus 1 theta, sin 2n plus 1 theta theta whole divided by sin theta. Now if we proceed this further, what we find? We find this as 1 upon pi. What is formula of sin c minus sin t? Simply applying the formula of sin c minus sin t, 2 sin c minus d by 2, 2 sin theta into cos c plus d by 2, cos 2n plus 2 theta d theta and this sin theta. So what I did in this step, simply writing the formula of sin c minus sin d here. Now this sin theta will get cancelled, and taking this 2 outside the sign of integration, what we find? We find this as 2 upon pi, limit is from 0 to pi by 2 cos 2n plus 2 theta d theta. So finally what we obtain this result, sin 2n plus 2 theta whole divided by 2n plus 2, limit is from 0 to pi by 2. Putting the value of upper limit and lower limit, what we find is 2 upon pi sin 2n plus 2 into pi by 2 minus sin 0. As n is natural number, it is 2 by pi sin n plus 1 pi minus sin 0 is 0. So this is 0 because n is natural number, so this is 0. So if this is 0, what does it mean? It means f of this means that f of n plus 2 minus 2 of f1 n plus 1 plus f of n is 0. This means 2 times f of n plus 1 is equal to f of n plus f of n plus 2. So finally what we conclude? We conclude f1, f2, f3 all are in f4, f5 all are in AP. Are in AP. Now putting once we find f1, f2, we calculate all the values f3 by using the method of difference. Now what is the value of f1? f1 is 1 by pi 0 to pi by 2. This is sine square theta whole divided by sine square theta. Simply putting n is equal to 1 here, what we find? We find this as 1 by 2. What is f2? Simply putting n is equal to 2, we obtain f2 as 0 to pi by 2 sine square 2 theta whole divided by sine square theta. And what is sine 2 theta? We know that sine theta is 2 sine theta cos theta, so taking 2 it is square, taking 4 outside the sine bracket, that is 4 by pi by 2 cos square theta theta. And we know that from limit 0 to pi by 2 this is equal to pi by 4, so this is 4 by pi into pi by 4, so this is equal to 1. So f1 is equal to 1 by 2, f2 is equal to 1, f3 is equal to 3 by 2. By using the same manner what we calculate, simply finding the value of f1, f2, f3, they are in AP with common difference 1 by 2. Now f15 is a plus n minus 1 into d, nth term of AP. Simply apply the formula, we obtain all the value, and finally putting here what we find is 15 by 2 plus 3 by 2 and 6 minus 5. So this is equal to 9. So finally, what is the value? So answer of this question is 9. So hope you understand the problem, also understand how to approach such type of problem. Thank you and see you in next video.